the fear fishing experiment.
Come on now.
us live right here on the Fear Fishing Experiment.
The FearFishing Experiment.
Report suspicious activities and call 911 for immediate response. Expect delays, searches of personal property, and restricted access to public buildings. Expect traffic delays and restrictions.
Oh, jumping. That's a football made on a smallmouth bass. Hold that up. Shot. Oh my gosh, that's a big fish.
You know what? It turned out into like cinematic genius. So it's just beautiful.
The idea is just keep rolling.
Navigating your way on and off the water. Now, here's your host, Ian West.
You gotta unmute yourself.
Good evening, and welcome to the Fear Fishing Experiment. It almost went smooth, kids. Guys, welcome to the show. We got Sean McCall, Woody Margera, and Mr. Kyle Carruthers, who needs to unmute himself. How's it going?
There we go. What's going on?
There you go.
I'm off the bench. I'm the fill-in.
You're the fill-in. Mark's on his way home from work.
I know. I got the call. I showed up though for you guys.
You did. You
I'm happy
did.
to be here. It's
How
fun.
you guys doing? How you guys doing?
I'm losing my mind over here.
Are you?
Losing my mind in excitement for bass season.
Bass season is less than 2 weeks away, less than 14 days on the Kawartha Lake, Zone 17 for sure, and Zone 20, I believe.
Where are you guys going for the opener?
I don't know. Mercer messaged me and said we want to go to Lake Ontario.
It'll be all right.
That could be a smash fest. What are you guys thinking?
I think I'm gonna hit Sturgeon. Hit Sturgeon
Really?
up for the Ontario Kayak Tournament Bass Trail. Or I think I pronounced that wrong. I think I'm gonna hit the kayak series this year in the Hobie and smash some fish.
So we're going to jump into what you just recently purchased here in a while. But before we get any farther, if you got any questions, comments, Sean, are you watching the Facebook?
Yeah, I'm on the Facebook side.
I'm on the YouTube. If questions, comments, hit the like, share button. Let's get this party rolling. There's so much to talk about. I feel it's only been 2 weeks and I feel like it's been a month since we talked in the Zoom format on the podcast. Where do you want to start, Sean? What do you want to start with?
What do I want to start with?
Yeah.
I got my boat back.
You got your boat back. So you spent the weekend at Mercer Marine gutting your Evinrude. From like when
I wouldn't say the weekend. This is how it went down.
Okay, let's hear it.
A couple of weeks ago, I went over to Mercer Marine on the Saturday, and we tore into it, and we got a pretty good handle on it between Andrew, Bob, and I. We had a pretty good discussion, and we figured out what parts we wanted to see on the table when the job went to go down. So I ordered all the parts, and I ordered the parts the very next day, or sorry, on the Monday. It was the Saturday I was at his place. I ordered them on the Monday, first thing Monday morning, and I got a call from Mercer Monday morning just after I ordered the parts, and he was like, "Hey, listen, Bob and I were talking, and while we got that motor apart, why don't we do the upper motor mount? You know, it's probably a good idea, and that could also be a player in this game, right?" So I made another list. I ordered some more parts, and I put priority shipping. So, and it said everything should be shipped out within 3 to 5 days, which would have been perfect. You know, I would have had the stuff middle of the week this week or last week, and would have put us perfect for a Saturday go. So, and they told me to keep an eye out for the email that they would send me to let me know it's on the way. Well, I never got the email. I sent them an email on Monday saying that I hadn't got an email. I'm looking for a response here, and nobody got back to me till Wednesday. So on Wednesday, I just went hunting for a phone number so I could hunt this place down. It's in the States, and I got a hold of somebody there, and he was like, "Oh, Mr. McCall, I apologize. Your order seemed to have fallen through the cracks." So not the excuse I wanted to hear. And I explained to him, I said, "Listen, I paid priority shipping on this deal. I've got this job going on this weekend." He's like, "Well, how can we make it right?" I said, "Well, you can make my part show up by airmail tomorrow." He says, "You know what? I can do that." So they overnighted them to me, and I got them Friday night. And we went to Mercer's on Saturday morning and went at it. And I'll tell you, if we were to do it again, that job, we could probably do it in 4 hours, the two of us. And we
Now,
had the whole
apart.
No, apart and fixed.
Yeah. But explain to everybody listening. When I showed up Saturday afternoon, that boat was in pieces. The engine was in pieces. Like it wasn't even recognizable other than a power head.
The power head was off the boat. The whole exhaust housing was off the boat. The bottom end was off. Like the whole motor was disassembled, right?
Yeah.
But all of the stuff, we kept all of the wiring and hoses and everything on the power head. We were able to just pick the power head up, straight up, not move it too far off the boat, and still get to the swivel bracket assembly and get to everything we needed to get to, right? So the only problem that we ran into was the gasket that I had ordered was for the wrong motor, but it was the only gasket listed on the parts list. So I guess it was for the 3.3 and I have the 3.4. So I called around. I called Port Perry first. They're an Evinrude dealer, right? And I asked the girl there for it. She says, "No, we don't have it. The closest one at an Evinrude dealer is New York." I said, "Well, that's not going to happen." Right? I said, "I need this today and I can't cross the border." So she says, "Well, you can call around because not everybody uses the computer system." So I called about 15 places and I ended up getting a hold of Emerald Isle, and they had the gasket in stock. So me and Mercer, we took his brother-in-law's rocket ship and we fired up there in the CMW. That was just stupid.
700 horsepower.
Yeah, it was a stupid ride. And we picked it up and we got back and slapped her back together, fit on her and kicked her out of the driveway.
So people don't realize though, like this is a big deal. Like you haven't ran this boat in a couple of years, right? Like this is a big day for you to get this thing going.
Yeah, it'll be 2 years this August that I pulled it off the water. Yeah, because I had this problem and then I wasn't in the right frame of mind to just get it back on the water. I was fishing with Ian, so I wasn't too worried about it. I had a lot of other stuff going on in my life, and I just, I put it on the back burner. But Mercer mentioned to me, he's like, "Hey, why don't you just bring that boat over and we'll have a peek." And those guys are brilliant over there. There's nothing that they can't do. I'm sure of it.
The stuff they build and
it's unbelievable.
The power poles is the most impressive thing.
So everybody doesn't know that Mercer Marine, Andrew, created his own carbon fiber power poles.
Actually, you should go over and do a segment on those.
They're so awesome. It's not funny.
Yeah. We were talking about those this afternoon while we were sitting there. Him and Bob, they got an idea one night over a pint or two, and they designed and built their very own power poles.
That's how I met Andrew. Honestly, that's how I met Andrew. We grew up in the same town, but I went to a different high school. And Andrew, when they decided to make the power poles, would send me pictures, and I couldn't believe what they were doing. And those poles are amazing. I've fished with those poles on Andrew's boat, and they're awesome.
They look good too. Like you wouldn't know, like for being homemade, they look phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
Oh yeah, they look pro, right?
It's top shelf.
Pro. Like they were all professionally formed. Like they're unbelievable is what they are. I couldn't believe they were homemade when they made them.
So the boat
showed me
carbon fiber, the whole
carbon
thing.
fiber Kevlar, were they not? And you have to jump in
like
here
that.
and tell us something crazy, but they're phenomenally done. So if you call 1-800 Mercer Marine, he'll make you up a set.
Yeah, totally. For about $20,000.
Yeah, actually, here, Penny, I'll give you a cell phone number right now. So.
He'd love that.
Yeah.
No, Bobby actually said that they broke the molds for those and threw them away because they didn't want to build anymore.
That would be Mercer Marine. They
Right.
built all the brackets, everything. When they put my Garmin's on my boat, they built everything from nothing. I basically dropped the boat off, the Garmin boxes, and they built everything to do mount the boat. It's unbelievable what they make.
It's like if you tell him like that you're gonna get a bracket, it's like you insulted him because he doesn't get to design anything.
And
Right.
and you know what the funny thing is that like I said you guys should be making these mounts and selling them, and they were like, no, we don't do that. Only you get them. Like it's crazy. Like they will not do it. The price that you would have to pay Mercer Marine for a set of brackets for your boat would blow people's minds because they don't want to do it.
Right.
But if
right.
you're in
And-
the inner circle of Mercer Marine, they can fix anything, anytime, day or night. Diagnose. I've never brought my boat there where they didn't like have it ready in a couple hours, no matter what.
Maybe
Yeah.
you bring your boat there a lot, Ian.
I do. I break
Yeah.
a lot of stuff. I
Yeah,
spend a
you
lot of
do.
time there. I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now,
And
here's
you
something
want
I
to know
didn't even.
something else about Mercer Marine, about Bobby in particular. You want to know something else about this guy? Hey, Kyle, he's pretty good on the smoker.
Oh man,
Yes.
We
It
had
is.
smoked ribs on Saturday night for
Yeah?
dinner, and I'm kind of hoping I can move in over there.
Yeah,
I,
Bob's
I,
a
honest to
beauty.
God, I've had Andrew's mom while they were fixing my boat be like, Ian, can you come in? And then her make me like a full spread. I had tacos there one night. They were to die for.
Oh yeah,
So
Burgers, man.
not only do you get your boat fixed, but you get fed there.
It's amazing. It's the best place ever. Like he could start a VIP only club, and you could pay like a yearly membership just for your
Yeah.
boat service.
That's
And
not a
you
bad
go and
idea.
You'd go and just hang out with Bob and Andrew, have a
So,
cigar.
I
And-
wouldn't say it's impossible to get your boat fixed there, but you got to call me, and then I have to be like your triage line, and then I have to call him. And if you get that far, you've done well. Now, if I could explain it to Andrew and it's something he wants to do, and you get a cell phone number,
No,
you've done really well.
don't call Ian because he's still learning how to pick up phone lines at his new
Oh
job.
my gosh,
As I found out today, I literally called.
I was busy.
I called the store. Ian is now working. He answered the phone. Ian West, line 1. Can I help you? It's a little bit
I was in the
changed, so,
moment.
but he'll get there. He'll
Thank God
get
it was
there.
Kyle. Thank God it was
Yeah,
Kyle. who
I
was on
told
the
him you
phone.
don't have to tell the customer what line they're on when you answer it. But
I was busy.
He's getting it. So,
Now, here's something that since we were talking about your boat engine, Sean, I didn't even have this on the list, but since we did the last podcast, there is no more Evinrude engines.
there's one on the back of my boat, and she's mint, buddy. I'm not worried about that at all.
But what do you guys think about like that's a huge takeover for Mercury?
in honesty, I wouldn't be too worried if I owned one on my boat. If I had a new G2 or like Sean said, the first generation or the E-Tex or whatever, good motors. They're going to be making parts for them. They have to honor that stuff. But
Yeah.
if I was a dealer right now with a whole bunch of packages on aluminum boats sitting on my lot on my dealer interest plan, I would be a little upset because I know that if I was going in to buy a brand new boat, I will buy the Merc or the Yamaha over the Evinrude now, no matter what the price is, just, by the fact of what is going on, the warranty and I'm sure they'll stand behind those products for a number of years, but eventually, like anything, those parts will phase out over time. Like you already, even like current companies like Mercury and stuff, you already see some of the parts phase out on motors that are 10, 15 years old, like some of those two strokes.
Yep.
So it's, I mean, like I said, I wouldn't be too worried if I was sitting with a new one on the back of my boat right now, but if I was a dealer, I feel for them. I know what that's like. So
We got a really good question here from Derek on YouTube. Kyle, you're running the new Garmin Force trolling motor. What's your feedback on it?
I'm obviously biased being a Garmin rep. It is by far the nicest trolling motor I've ever ran. I would gladly let anybody jump on my boat if they ever saw me out there, if I'm still fishing in it. It's phenomenal. It is so quiet. The first time that we used it, I actually almost fell out of the boat because I had to look down to see if the prop was actually spinning or if the wind was blowing me. It's phenomenal. It's so well built.
We saw Bear still in the Garmin booth, and he showed us Sean at the spring fishing show or the spring boat show. Unbelievable how quiet those trolling motors are.
Yeah, it's extremely well built too. There's 2 locking pivots, the self stow when you pull it back up. Uses 2 shocks, make it feel like it's honestly, guys, this thing is bulletproof. And we're having phenomenal success with them everywhere.
And now another thing is that the Garmin Force trolling motor is a little pricey on paper, but it's because it comes with that ultra transducer.
Yeah, so it has a GT54 UHD transducer built right into it. So you're getting like that UHD sonar, which is going to put the price up. But if you actually take the time to use one and see the features and how it's built and the durability of it, you're going to understand that price increase. So it's not like it's just, you're not really comparing like apples to apples. You're kind of comparing like, the Ferrari to a Camaro sort of deal.
Yeah.
Right. And that's
100%.
that's the honest truth of it. Like, get out there and try one. If you see anybody with one on the water, like even just fishing walleye this year, a lot of guys have stopped. Hey, what do you think of that motor? Like, honestly, just go up and take a close look at it. Jump on the guy's boat. If he lets you, let him drive around you. You won't even hear the thing. It's phenomenal.
Hey, Ryan, I know there's a follow-up question from Derek there, Kyle. Thanks, Kyle. Is there the transducer still compatible with a regular 995 SV EcoMap Plus, or do you have to go to the UHD?
You'd have to have a UHD unit. So you either would have to have the black box. So basically the new EcoMap Ultras have that technology built into them, or an EcoMap Ultra would have that technology built into them. So anything on the new 7-inch and above, it will plug right into. So it's, and those units are getting so affordable. Like what used to be $2,000 2 years ago is now $900. Like it's just coming down every year, right? Because the technology is getting better and mass produced and stuff like that. So it's not something you really got to worry about. And there's going to be some really cool things coming from Garmin here in the next year that is going to make that stuff even better.
Sean, you fished on my boat with the Garmin units. What do you think?
I'm a big fan of the Garmin units. I really like the mapping, and I'm a big fan of the Panoptics. I really enjoyed using that. And then when we got the live scope last year, it's a real game changer, because the beam on the live scope, it's only a 20% beam, and it's so much easier to pinpoint what you're looking at, what kind of structure, or if you've seen a fish, where that fish is, right? It's so much easier to follow fish.
Weed lines.
Yeah. I really like the narrow beam just for being that accurate.
And now the new perspective mount is going to change all that again, right? Especially for that shallow water fishing.
That's turning your transducer from this way to flat.
Yeah. So basically it would be almost like doing the same thing as like a Humminbird 360, for example, kind of giving you that view, help you find structure and fish. Keep in mind though, it's live still, where like our competitor is historic. So, it's going to change, but that live timing, I think that's what makes it fun to fish. It's like you're playing a video game. You're watching your lures, you're seeing fish hit, you're learning stuff as they hit. So there's a lot of cool things about it. And what was really cool, I thought that, we did at Garmin did, was they made that Panoptics perspective mode just a simple software update and $100 mount, $149 Canadian mount. Like they totally could have came out of a new transducer and they would have sold a ton of them still, but they wanted to like give back to the fishing community and those who supported them, and a simple software update and a mount, and you're in business. That's phenomenal. I think that is so classy of them. It's amazing.
Absolutely.
For sure. And they're thinking ahead. Like that's the thing about Garmin is it's not about what they have right now. It's about what they're going to have in the future. And like with the updates, like the updates are so easy. I have to go get mine updated at Mercer Marine. He just plugs his phone into them and we're back on the water.
Which I chirp you for all the time because it's the simplest thing. You can update.
Yeah, but I'll get dinner out of this.
Okay. Everyone needs an excuse, right? So
yeah, I'll go. I need an excuse to go to Mercer's. Let's talk about my new job at East Hill Outdoors. I started last Thursday. I'm on the 9 to 5, slugging away in the fishing industry.
Ian with
Sean,
the 9 to 5. I think I posted. It's gonna take a while to get used to, man. The problem is that you're still bugging me every day because you're calling about work questions.
No, I actually have to call you. So you're my boss when it comes to fear fishing, but I have to call you and give you a hard time because I need product during the day.
Nobody gives me a hard time, bud. Nobody. The worst part is though, I can't. The worst part about this whole thing is I can't screen your calls anymore because
No,
it pops
because
up
I may.
as East and I'm like, oh, it could be any one employee there who I deal with on multiple things. And they're all great people. And now I have to answer the phone when you call. I can't even screen it anymore.
Well,
So,
this is a big opportunity for me. So I know what it's like to be an angler. Over the last couple of years, I've learned a ton from you about the fishing industry as far as partnerships and sponsorships go. I've learned a ton from Woody about non-fishing companies, how they go. And now I'm getting a first-class lesson from Kevin on the retail side of fishing.
no, it's a good perspective for you to have all those angles, right? And I always tell people, they're always like, how'd you get this job that you do as being a sales rep and stuff in the industry? Start at a retailer. Go in there, work counter. You're going to meet reps. You're going to learn how the industry works. You're going to network. You're going to make connections, and always opportunities come from that. So I always tell guys, like to learn so many angles of business as you can, whether it's in fishing or any kind of retail, to understand distribution and the supply, the purchasing chain and the supply and demand and stuff like that. It's good for anybody, but to do it in a fishing store and something you love, even better.
The industry, it's very complicated. It's not what people think it is, and I've got to look at it from all different angles now. And I'm learning the retail side. It is very interesting. I've really enjoyed East Hill. I'm excited. This has been a long time since I had a job where I was excited to go to work in the morning. I've met a ton of people in 3 days. Part of my job is to call and order stuff, so I get to talk to people I like. This is a win-win for me.
What's the dog doing over there, bud? Having a
Squeaking
heyday?
toys, like she's going nuts. The pointer's gone crazy, and the golden retriever's mad about it.
We can tell.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
no, it's cool, man. We got a lot of great dealers in Ontario, and I'm really happy for you, man. East Hill's one of them, and it's really cool that you got that gig there with Kevin and the team. So I'm pumped for you. That's awesome, dude.
I'm excited too. And the best part,
I want to tell you something. Since you started that job on Thursday,
yep,
you have a different look on your face. You have a much happier look. You have a whole look like you. If you look at the vlog the day you started that job, and you look at your vlog from months and months and months before, you can totally tell that you're in a different place mentally.
Well, here's the thing. So I worked at a steel foundry for 15 years of my life. And when I got sick, I have to take these blood thinner pills, and they wouldn't let me go back to work. So my life has really been on hold for the last 3 years. Now, like I will tell you that as soon as I dealt with that baggage, within an hour, I was at East Hill Outdoors telling Kevin that I was ready to come to work. And I actually let some stuff go so that I could go right to work, because I was done sitting around, done waiting. I like to work. I like to be busy. I like to, this is a great day. I got up this morning at 6. I walked the dog. I took her for a run. I had coffee with Amber. I went to East Hill. I got home. I talked to people about fishing on the way home, and now I'm doing the podcast.
It
fun. Doesn't get any better than this.
It's fun working retail like that. I did it growing up, like in the motorcycle and power sports world. And that was my big passion. And 90% of your interactions with people all day are positive, right?
Yes.
They're excited to be there. They're purchasing something they've worked hard for. They're excited to be there, excited to take it home. They want to talk. That's the great thing about working a cool retail job like that. Sure, you're going to get a knucklehead every now and then that's had an issue, or, the world's falling down around them and everything's your fault. But most of those guys can be taken care of. But it's a fun job to go to when you truly love to do what you do.
So. And, here's another thing. I get a big kick when Sean and I make a fishing video, and then we release the video, and then we get comments about how they learned stuff in the video and went and caught fish. Yeah. I'm having a blast selling fishing products that I know work. And then a couple of days later, the guy comes in the store and says, hey, went out with my kid on the weekend and we absolutely pounded them doing what you said on the products you said, which really makes me happy. It's a win-win situation, right? I got messages all weekend long on my Instagram and social media accounts saying, hey, love the new Daiwa Tatula SV. and we caught a bunch of walleye. You know how rewarding that is to me? You sell good products, great products. And the good thing about East Hill is that it aligns with a lot of the, you know, the partnerships we have. And then people come back because I learned something or they got such, and they have a story. And my big thing is that I want to hear your story from the products we sold you.
For sure. And those guys are selling a number of top tier brands. So
Oh, 100%.
which is phenomenal. And I truly get that from all my dealers that I walk in. There's only a couple of guys that, you know, might not like their job, but 99% of those guys are pumped to go to work every day and sell fishing and hunting stuff. So it's pretty cool to see. So
And yeah, I really like Kevin and his whole family, and that's what it's made up of. Like, I like getting there in the morning and, you know, hi to Luke and hi to Brianna and morning to Kevin and Kevin's wife. And you kind of, on my way to the fishing department, I get to say hello to people I like.
yep. So do you have a name tag yet?
No,
Does it say assistant manager?
I really took the job because Kevin lets me wear flip-flops to work.
I know, that's brutal.
Hey, it is what it is. It's FearFishing. You know, this is real life.
I wear flip-flops to work too. I think I came in and saw you the other day in flip-flops. So
it's been amazing. If anybody out there, come on down to East Hill Outdoors and come talk fishing. Sean, I got a question for you here on the YouTube. Joe Mama says, "Hey Sean, where did you get those taxidermy done at? How much and how long did you wait to get them back?"
I know.
Well, my taxidermist, his name's Andrew, and he's up in Lindsay. Try to remember the name of his. Well, it's Andrew's Taxidermy.
Andrew's Taxidermy. He did both the bears hanging above me right now too.
Yeah, and he takes some time to do it, because you know it's him that does the work, and you know if you're willing to wait, you know 8 months to sometimes a year, but I'll tell you the guy's an absolute artist. You can, if you come over and look at mine, like mine look real, all the details in the face, the really high quality eyes. Those are just my deer. He didn't do the fish. Actually, a guy that he apprenticed actually did the fish for me, and he doesn't do fish anymore. But the one's a skin mount, the small one on the top is a skin mount, and then this one here is actually a replica. I won't. That one I had years and years ago. I wouldn't skin mount the fish anymore. It's just a lot easier to let that fish go and breed and get a replica. But the price for some of my shoulder mounts, it all depends on what you want done. Like my brother and we've got about, I think we have 22 shoulders between the two of us. He's got most of them. But we have Andrew, he's going to kick me in the nuts for saying this, but we have Andrew actually modify forms and make the deer do different stuff. Like we'll have them fighting on the wall or something like that.
The one your brother has when he's like grunting, when he's with his mouth open?
Yeah, well, that's the one I have here. He's they call it fletching. He's got his head kind of back, his nose is curled, his lips curled, and you can see it. He's got the water droplets on his whiskers, and he's
awesome.
He's scenting with his mouth, right? That's my favorite one. But yeah, they run anywhere from about $700 to $1,100, depends on how much stuff we make him do to them, right? And how pissed off he gets when we order it. But you know, like his work is just unbelievable. And we've actually sent so many friends to him. Like we're probably responsible for, I don't know, between 60 and 80 shoulders going to him in the last, I don't know, 5 to 7 years, I'd say.
Is there a mount you really like to get done? Like, is there a certain animal out there or fish that you'd really like to add to the collection, Sean?
I've got a Corsican ram. It's really nice. It was my first out of country bow kill. It's got 3 different colors in its mane in below its chin. The horns come way out. It was a gold seal one, so it's like a Boone and Crockett, right?
Yep.
I've got a white Texas doll sheep. It's not really a longhorn. It's only got like 3/4 of a curl. I think I'd really like a big all sheep. Like they're one of the most majestic animals on the planet. I think that or an elk, a nice 6x6 elk would take up a lot of room, but it'd be
We're
worth
so
it.
close to that this year.
Yeah, you went on
Oh.
an elk adventure.
Man, I was 5 yards from getting a 380 glass bull. Second biggest bull the guy's ever seen in his life, and it still haunts me to this day, to the point where I don't even want to talk about it right now. But
Are you going this year?
speaking of mounts, I do have a good question here for us, but I think I caught a 42-pound, almost 43-pound salmon in BC last year, and we got all the measurements and everything on that thing. I think I'm gonna get the replica made because that's a fish of a lifetime. That's a huge fish.
There you go.
And about a year wait's the average on any mount,
Oh, anything.
no matter where you go.
Yeah.
Well, it all depends on how busy the guy is. I've seen guys fire out mounts in 3 months and they're back, right? You know,
Yeah, but if
Andrew-
they're not that
Andrew
busy,
will finish a mount. When Andrew finishes a mount, he won't let you come and get it for 2 weeks. He won't let you touch it. He's
Yeah.
like, it's drying, leave it alone. I'm like, but it's done. It's sitting right there. Just let me take it home. He's like, you touch that thing, I'll break your fingers. Like, that's it. And even though it's mine, I can't touch it until he's ready to say, okay, it's dried, it's cured, everything's ready. Take it home and enjoy it.
He has
What
an
mount-
amazing studio too. He has some phenomenal work at his place. Like if you're up in that Lindsay area, I think it's just off. Is it River Road?
River Road, yeah, just off
it River
35,
Road?
right
Yeah.
before you get to 7.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal place. So check it out. And he's a good dude. He's done a few bears for me and my buddies, and we'll definitely do my bucks if I ever see him to get a big one here on the ground. So for sure.
he's gonna do
But,
mine. I'm shooting a 203 this year.
Okay, bud. So
You're gonna join the
Throwing
200
that
club,
out
right?
there.
Good luck with that.
I'm just
Yo-
throwing it out there.
you just need to learn to sit in the tree stand until dark and not walk across the field on your buddy.
I was
That's still fun.
excited. I was excited.
So
That's the best story
Um,
ever. Sean, I gotta go. There's a buck standing here.
literally
Right.
looking through my scope, I see bright orange. Who is that? So
It's a deer, man.
but anyways, there's a question here for Mitch. He's actually asking about we think the qualifier, I assume it means the OBM qualifier, is going to go on Rice in September. So I'm going to kind of make that a 2-part question here. Tournament season, where is it at? What are you guys hearing out there? What's happening?
Well,
Sean, I know you're
the
pretty close
OBN
to the CSFL
The
guys.
OBN has, the OBN has an executive meeting coming up here shortly.
This week,
and
I think.
from there-
This weekend,
believe
June
it's on the
13th, right?
Yeah, I think it's the 16th. Yeah, it might be the 13th, so I think it's the 16th. But anyway, we'll be getting more word from the guys at the OBN, and that obviously, if the tournament season for them is going to be a go, then obviously the qualifier is going to be a go, right?
Yeah.
Andy Pilata, I know that he's working on something right now with the CSFL. They're actually going to try to do an on the water weigh in this year. They've got 80 feet of floating dock that they're going to set up 4 stations at. You know,
That's
so you're going to
awesome.
roll up. Yeah, you're going to roll up. You're going to get your fish checked at one station, your weigh bags at the other. You're going to get your weighed in at the 3rd station, and then the 4th station is going to be like the winner's circle. If you're sitting there, you're in the lead, right? So that's his plan. And as far as I know, he's getting ready to go around July. I think the 2nd or 3rd week in July, the end of it, he's going to go.
So he has a tentative schedule out, or he did, of July 4th. Is that going to go, Sean? Like that's the week you're talking about there?
No, I thought he was going a little later. I haven't talked to him about July 4th. He might have moved something up. You know, Andy Pilati.
That was a couple weeks ago when I saw that. He may have moved that too. So
yeah, if he can go July 4th, he'll go. He's chomping at the bit. They're ready to roll, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But we just got to make sure. Like he is so picky because what he wants to do, he wants to keep everybody safe. You know, he looks at himself like a leader in the industry, and he is.
Mhm.
You know, when it comes to tournament fishing. So he wants to set forth a good example, not just for the anglers and not just for the general public and not just for the towns, but for all of us, everybody, right? To look at and say, this guy's doing it right. This is the proper model. And this is how it should be done right now.
Yeah, are you fishing the qualifier, Sean?
I'm going to fish the qualifier. I got a free entry in the qualifier this year for winning
Yeah.
the member last year.
I haven't made my decision if I'm going to fish qualifier yet, but because I won the Angler of the Year in my club, I get first right of refusal. So I'm just waiting to see what this meeting says, and then I will make my decision. I'm probably going to end up fishing it just because it's close. This guy
It's
should
right
fish it.
close. It's right close with the Team Ontario when they go down. Mark and I are going with the team down to where are we going, to Mississippi? No, we're going to Minneapolis. Where's
Yeah.
Minneapolis?
Minnesota.
Minnesota. We're going to Minnesota, right? So that's
Yep.
where we're going. We're going to Minnesota with the team down there in August, I believe it is. So, and we still haven't heard if that's 100% go. I was talking with Danny McGarry today. I'm going fishing with him in the morning, and we're still waiting to find out if all that's going to be 100%, which I really hope it is. I think we're going to get our borders open pretty soon here. I think everything's starting to die down. We got to get these businesses rocking and rolling, right?
Here's a question.
Speaking of borders, Chris and Corey and Gussie are
Hold on.
crops.
Let's not jump to this. Well, we're going to do one question. Choppers 97, Sean.
Yep.
Hey guys, if I wanted to get more involved with fishing organizations like, it says Penn, but I'm assuming it's OBN or CSFL as a volunteer, how would I go about doing that? Sean, you do a lot of stuff.
If you wanted to volunteer with the CSFL and get to learn all the ins and outs about the tournament side of it, call Andy Pilata at 416-802-BASS. He's always looking for people to help out. That gave me a lot of experience going and hanging out with that guy, and actually being close friends with him. It really opened my eyes to a lot on the tournament side of things, as well as in the industry side of things. I've learned a lot. Like, I haven't been around this game for very long, and I really credit being able to be a part of FearFishing and the CSFL and the Pilata family, all to that. I really I appreciate it, right? And that's where I get it all from. Another thing,
Kyle.
wants to join your local bass club. That's probably the best way to get into fishing and learn about fishing and get to know different guys in fishing.
I started so late fishing in my bass club. I wish I'd have done it 15 years ago. I have such a great time with our bass club and all the guys in it. And it's an amazing experience. Even if you take it out, I'm going to fish if they run my club events, I'm going to fish the club events this year just because I like hanging out with the guys so much.
That's what it's all about. I mean,
100%.
It's like I'm in a couple clubs too, and I'm going to change it up this year. I did a kayak tournament last year. I'm a little bit more involved in that this year. But even like those guys, it's a whole different world. Like, they're all so helpful. Everybody's trying to help you out, get you on board. I mean, winning's awesome, and taking home the prizes or the check, it's a good time. But you make lifelong friends wherever you do it, right?
You will.
And I've met a lot of really good people through it. Some of them are my closest friends now. So I encourage anybody to get out there and get involved in a club of, one of the organizations.
I don't even think I have a friend who doesn't hunt or fish anymore. Just saying.
I've got a couple. I got a couple. I just keep them on the shelf for like Christmas time or something.
Just keep them on the shelf. Just put you up here. Okay, Kyle, where were we headed with this?
Well,
this is exciting. I'm pumped.
Okay, so you mentioned this borders opening up, Sean. We got our Canadians through. They're over there. They're practicing.
Official announcement. Corey Johnson is an athlete.
It is. This is big news.
So before we did the digital dive all night, like when we were sitting there and we were getting all the cameras set up, I asked Corey, and I was like, "Hey, before I ask you this live, can you get across the border?" And he was like, "Wes, you're not going to believe it. I'm an athlete."
So I talked to them. I talked to Chris, I believe, right after he crossed, a few hours after, and I asked how it went, and he said, "No problem at all. Paperwork was in check from Bass and them, and even some of the border guards were like, they didn't really know what was going on, but they had the paperwork, and the superiors put them through, and it was good. They had all the records and the medical stuff and all that, or whatever they needed. I don't know all the details to it, but they got through. And when I was talking to Chris, you could hear the excitement in his voice, like, to be back. And then they were out fishing on, was it Chickamauga or what did we say
Chickamauga.
this week? What, you see that-
Chickamauga.
you see that tank Chris got too? You know, they were out
Beauty.
fishing together there, like, so, and you can
back
tell,
of the
man, like
boat?
those guys are pumped from the back of the boat. Yeah. So it's exciting, man, that for this to be back this weekend.
They
So,
must have
and
been driving and to like get to the border, and then as soon as you like cross, the excitement would have been like, this is happening.
Yeah.
You know what I
it's
mean?
there.
Like
Yeah.
they
So-
weren't across until they were actually across. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But this is like this next swing, like we got the St. Lawrence coming up, smallmouth like, man,
yeah.
it's on. Like
Saint-
our Canadians, man, they're gonna shine. Like this is their
They
this
got a
is their
chance.
deal. They got a chance. So
Are you guys excited for Thursday Bass Live to start? I'm pumped.
you won't be able to watch that. You have a real job now.
Well, guess what? I'm here to announce that I will be watching it at East Hill Outdoors because we're going to start streaming it on the TV.
I hope that phone rings so much and you have to answer it going Ian West line 1 all day to the point where you don't even know what's going on. Welcome to the world, buddy. Welcome to the real world.
No. That was on the demand list. We got a Fire Stick for we could watch it. And I worded it like, hey, I got a great idea. We'd probably have a whole bunch of people come in if we stream Bass Live and cheered on Chris and Corey.
You know what's even better is I can call there as many times as I want, and you have no caller ID, and I can pretend.
I will block your number.
You
I'll block your number.
Well, buddy, you're not the only one with more than one line. I have to say line 1 2 sometimes. So
Listen, you come there in the morning, and there will be a sign on the door that says, "Do not let Kyle Carruthers in."
oh, that doesn't happen. So,
But are you guys
all
excited? Right. Are you guys excited for the season to start? I miss Tommy Sanders and Zona and the rest of the crew talking.
Yeah, I'm gonna pay a lot more attention to it than I have. You know, it's tough because we get busy. I won't be watching Bass Live all day like you do, but I'll be checking every hour for the updates for sure.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, Danny and I were talking today about it, and we're absolutely pumped. We can't wait to. Sorry, let me just turn that. There we go. Yeah, we can't wait to getting dark in here. We can't wait. We're working together, right? So we're gonna bring in the tablet. We're gonna Bluetooth onto the big speaker, and we're gonna work away, and we're gonna listen to it and watch it all day long.
You will see a Canadian win an event this year.
I think you will too.
You will see or contend for a win.
You guys want to do bet here?
Nope.
Who it's gonna be first?
Chris.
Corey.
It will be Chris.
It'll be Corey.
Corey might be the most competitive human being I've ever met. Ever.
Even when we did Digital Daiwa, I thought we were competing who could talk the most in the hour.
Have you guys watched that Michael Jordan documentary on Netflix? Yeah, Last Dance.
It's amazing.
And they're talking about like every Michael Jordan can't do anything about betting like on a game of golf or like throwing a coin at the. I thought of Corey right away. I'm oh man, he's so competitive, right? Like it you know what, and that's phenomenal to see, man, because that's the drive that keeps those guys going. Like it's
100%. It's not an easy life.
So
hey, I was thinking, like, somebody asked me how competitive Corey actually is, and I was like, if you could find 4 grasshoppers, Corey'd be prepared to stand in the parking lot and bet over which one was fastest.
Yeah, for sure.
Like they're machines. You got to be like that to fish at that level and to have that drive. And I don't think people realize like how little they sleep and on the road and how many miles they drive a year. It's not an easy way to make a living.
No, and it's not all like glory and glamour and everything that these people think it is, man. Like you grind it. Like there's days they fish without a bite, like over and over. Like you got to keep yourself motivated and grind it out and find those patterns and get on and then find fish and save fish for the event and all that good stuff. So it truly is a job. But I'm amazed that when those guys are home though, they're out fishing. Right? It doesn't matter like if it's crappy fishing walleye season, pike, like they're not taking a break, like they're going fishing, like they love.
No, they're outdoor guys, 100%.
Yeah. So while we're on this, we got a great question from Nicholas Lau on Facebook. His question is: will we ever have a Bass or MLF event exclusively in Canadian waters? Lake Simcoe would be prime, close to large stadium, excellent cell reception, and a world-class fishery. What do you guys think?
Honestly, probably not anytime soon. because
No.
there's so many factors with insurance. A lot of those guys, boat riders and policies don't cover them when they cross the border. There's multiple things. Half those guys, it's not like Canadians. Everybody has a passport. Man, you'll be
Yeah.
surprised how many Americans don't have a passport. Like every single person in the production crew would have to have a passport. When you bring over like all those commercial goods, so say they want to like bring over like any of like the Evinrude or the Mercury Marine service truck, like every single nut and bolt has to be inventoried in that truck to cross the border. And I know this from the motorcycle days, like the Supercross teams, they had to do all that paperwork, and they all wanted no events in Canada because of it. So,
And the other thing is
I don't
that
think
there's a business side to this where these towns are paying bass to come here, and I don't know that there's a big enough Canadian market to justify the cost plus the right now 40% exchange rate for that community, because we're dealing in American dollars, right? Like the payout, the $100,000 payout is American dollars, right? I think and do you guys like? I don't think there's no Canadian tournament brings in 40 people to watch a weigh-in. How are you going to justify for the community to make enough money to bring the elites here?
I think that you're going to see a tournaments pop up that will, that will be big tournaments or a big money or big prizing or something on Canadian waters. I don't think you're going to see it come from a BASS or MLF organization. And I could be wrong, and I hope I am, but I truly don't think we're going to see that anytime soon, because like you said, Ian, we just don't have the fans, and those US fans are not going to cross the border to come watch the weekend. They just are not going to do that.
It's got to be televised, right? Like TV or stream.
Speaking of that, this week.
Speaking of that, yeah. So I was Brandon Polnick called me last week when he was driving across Montana, and he told me that this week Bass is going to be on live on ESPN2 the whole tournament, which is
a big deal and
huge.
Wow. And they probably lucked into it a little bit with there being next to no sports coverage right now, if any. But who cares? This is great for fishing. If you can put 1,000 new eyes on the sport,
it's huge.
It opens up marketing avenues, companies that get involved.
Hey,
like it has the potential, and it goes back to, like we always say this, and Woody, this is probably more up your alley. Everyone always comes in here looking for sponsorships in fishing, and I want to be sponsored by a lure company. I want to be sponsored by a reel company. Hey guys, look at NASCAR, laundry detergent, Skittles, M&Ms, Lowe's. That's what we need to grow this sport. That's going to pay the bills for us to make bigger events, put newer boats out in the water, pay guys to actually fish up here or down there. And man, like those guys, like a lot of them aren't making huge money to fish that series, right? Like, there's those top guys, those big names and stuff, but that's the kind of coverage this sport needs. So, hats off to the crew down there for getting that done. That's a big step. And I believe it's been done in the past, but
I think sometimes that people who don't know think that these fishing companies are gigantic corporations, and they're not.
The thing too is that any gigantic corporation has expenses. There's factories to run. There's people to pay. There's design. There's engineers. It's not just like a magic pot. Trust me, I've tried to pull from that magic pot multiple times. I get nowhere. Right? But there's overhead expenses.
The entire fishing industry's together is like Pepsi. Do you know what I'm saying? Like
probably not even
Apple, or do you know, like, and it might not even be that. The entire North American industry may not be one of those mainstream companies, right? Like, how many people work at Daiwa Canada?
9 of us.
9.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes people think there's like a Daiwa Canada skyscraper where this is all happening.
It's huge. It's in Millbrook. No, I'm just kidding. But so, anyways, there's it's handled by our agency, right, Greywood. So there's actually there's about 9 of us that work on Daiwa, in our everyday roles as sales reps and all that kind of stuff, sales support and shows and all that stuff. But we got a great team, and it's a lot of fun. But no, you hit the nail on the head. Like it's so much illusion out there, or smoke and mirrors maybe is a bad term, right?
Well, but I think that it's just, that's what you think, right?
Yeah.
Like from the packaging and how good things work and Daiwas everywhere, right? You would think that there's like, 300, 400, 1,000 people working, and it's 9 guys.
Yeah, and we're supported. Like, we're basically an extension of Daiwa USA. So we got guys, they do all the shipping. They work down there too. So they're, it's a pretty big wheel. It's a pretty big hamster wheel that keeps spinning. But no, it's like hats off to, what, I kind of like lead into another topic here, but like hats off to all these fishing companies right now that are making this work, because it is tough times out there. And you know what? We're writing a huge amount of business. All fishing companies are. Everyone wants to fish this year. Everybody wants to buy a boat. Everyone wants to do it. But the factories are so messed up right now because of COVID overseas. Getting the product has been nothing but a challenge. So it goes back to what I've been saying for months on here and any other show I've been on. You guys think you want a rod or reel? Go buy it tomorrow. Do not wait, because it is getting tougher and tougher and tougher. And
you may not get it.
I've talked to many other reps in the industry from competitor brands, and everybody is in the same boat. Until we kind of get stuff back on track over there, the shipping companies get back to normal, the factories start up at full capacity. It's a grind, and I feel bad for these dealers because like they need the product and they can't get it to sell, and we all need the product to sell to make a little bit of money, right? And keep these things going. Like, it's been an extremely challenging year for a lot of people, a lot of dealers. So support your dealers.
Sure. Hey, here's some great comments before we take a break. And when we come back, we got a lot of bass talk to do. Derek wants to say, people need to understand sponsorship is a partnership. You essentially are a salesperson for your sponsors,
100%.
Which is very true.
Show how you can make return on investment. If you do not have a way to make return on investment, do not apply.
Derek also says most people just want free stuff and will do nothing in return. Yeah, that's the wrong way to look at it. Before I ever became East Hill, work there, I've been a salesman for the companies who back FearFishing for years and years and years, because there's nothing to invest in FearFishing if the companies aren't making anything themselves, right? It's a big circle. And I think that is a lot of confusion sometimes with smaller pro staffs when you get a small discount, but you're never expected to do anything.
Your number one way to get good sponsorship is to show that ROI, right? So when you apply, whether it's to one of the companies I represent or any company, I don't care if it's any sport, show them how you can get sales. And your best way of getting a pro staff deal, which I will remind people, stands for promotional staff. It does not stand for professional staff. Go and link yourself up with a good retailer. Somebody that can vouch for you, somebody that can show that you're sending sales their way, somebody that talks to their sales rep every single day and say, hey, so-and-so has sent a ton of business here lately. He's doing a great job. And you can work with multiple dealers, but have a good rapport from them. The first people we will ask is your local dealer. Hey, do you know this guy? Does he shop there? What is he like? Is he on your tournament scene? Does he have a good reputation? And it's amazing how well a good retailer can benefit you. Like, I know Jasper at ProJace, he has a ton of great field staff guys. I know the guys at Fishing World do. I know Ben at High Falls and Pro Advantage up in Belleville. Jamie has a great team and stuff like that. And we work to help those guys at that level too. And Gord Ruckcliffe, he's a great guy. He's a good guy. Staff and he works through Pro Advantage. He's got a great program going, and he does a ton for those brands that he represents. But it's a great way to show return on investment. And a lot of guys saying, hey, I'm going to put a sticker on the boat. Hey, I can't even give you a Daiwa sticker to put on the boat. So that's not going to work for us, right? So that's just an example. But try to link yourself up with a retailer, or a couple of them. Support everybody in the area and see where you can go.
And you got to go all the way. Like when you just mentioned there, so you need a company to get return and investment in you, but you also need to, invest in yourself to get return from the company. Sean can attest for this. McCall, we did our Daiwa deal, right? I forked out the cash and we went to Moose's and put the Daiwa stickers on. Absolutely. And so that we could show right away, we're not going to sit around here and wait for you guys to get us this. We're like, here's the deal. We will keep our end of the bargain. Now let's go. And we dove right into this. And now the investment that we made at the start is coming back for us by proving our ROI
Finally.
during that time. Do you get what I mean, though? You got to, not only does the company need to invest in you with, like, at the start, it's just like a huge push from a big company, but you got to invest in the company in order to see, for them to see the return to invest in you.
And I
It's
think
a two-way
too,
street.
exactly. And I want to alliterate too. When I say like pair up of a retail, I don't mean like only be married to one. Like you can, there's options where that works. But for example, I want my guys to be able to go to any dealer event if I'm not there and know that that dealer is happy to have him. They know he's there. He's working the Daiwa or the Garmin section or Under Armour or whatever, and he's doing a great job at it. And that, you know, that's not sending some people somewhere else. So, you know, there's a time and place for everything, and everybody can have friends and key partners in business, and that's just life. That's the way the world works. But I really think, like, for these guys that really want to apply to pro staff, the first question I'm going to ask is, where do you shop? Where are you going to send the business to? Because it'd be amazing how many people can't answer that question.
Yeah, Tackle Warehouse.
Yeah, that's the last one you want to say.
Yeah. Especially if you're Canadian, right?
Yeah,
Woody, do you got a break ready to roll? Okay, man, we're gonna slide into break. Make sure you get questions, comments in, and when we come back, we are going to talk about bass fishing. We're going to talk about what Kyle got new. We've got a ton to still talk about. I'm excited. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Maybe.
Mike Carnegie is a financial advisor at Northstone Wealth, providing insurance solutions to protect you and your family. Investment solutions for all your needs, like your kids' education and your retirement. Get good advice from a good guy and also a fellow angler and trusted member of the FearFishing family.
Hi, I'm Mike Carnegie. If you want a little direction, give me a shout. 905-925-0663. See you on the water.
How did the Jack Links people find me? Look at this. Look at all the Jack Links. Just arrived on the water, loaded up for the rest of summer. Cases and cases of Jack Links beef jerky. I think we're ready for a little fall fishing. Nothing better than jerky and fishing. We have made it to Trenton. There's an absolute ton of boats out here. And Emma, we're going for some silver bass, white bass.
Yep.
Lots of controversy on the internet if they're white bass or silver bass.
We're gonna find that out.
We're gonna find that out, hopefully. I'm sure we'll see it in the comments. Are you excited?
Yep.
Hopefully we can find some fish and they bite real good. Got south wind.
Yeah, I know. We didn't catch anything yesterday.
No, steelheading fishing is done for the season. We hardly saw any fish last night when we went for a couple hours, but new day. You want me to explain to everybody at home how we're gonna catch them?
No, don't tell them.
Don't tell them, it's a secret. This is what you need for silver/white bass fishing, anything that looks like a minnow. I am busting out something new today. I brought my brand new Tatua SV Randy Howell cranking rod.
There we are.
There we
We're
go.
back.
Whoa. Woody let us back to the show.
I was worried he fired everybody. I was just a guest. I didn't know I could get fired, but it happened.
I'm gonna have to clip that out, that part, so that we can put that on Instagram tomorrow, where we're all like, you.
So sorry, what was happening? What was it telling you on your end?
That the host won't let us unmute.
Because I had you guys all unmuted. Anyways.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Get it sorted.
Does Bill Gates run Zoom?
How much longer till we get back to the studio?
Hey, that's a good question. Do you think we can do the next one from the studio?
Well, isn't it this Friday that they're going to allow
10?
groups of 10?
So we're good.
Yeah,
What?
I'm pumped.
I mean, FearFishing has a staff of 20, so we'll have to let 10 people go.
Yeah.
And we'll be fine.
The skyscraper here. Well, the at FearFish Towers, I will throw it out to the executives upstairs and see if the next show we can do it live, because that'd be so much better.
Yeah.
I really miss having you guys all together, and it's a lot easier in the atmosphere when we're all together than it is to do it over Zoom.
Yeah, totally.
Speaking, has anybody seen Mark Hunter? I thought I was only on for the first half.
Oh no, you may be here in 2 weeks too, Kyle.
You didn't give Mark the news, did you?
No, maybe he's at home, just like he saw you on here and he was like, I'm not coming back. Maybe Mark quit and we don't know yet. Maybe Mark's going to take his 2 walleye and just retire.
Is he going to win the belt? He's won the belt.
No, we can't talk about that. We can't talk about that.
Yeah,
it's a
give him
secret.
the belt. There's no secret.
No, he is not having the belt.
Yeah,
ever.
You don't. It won't even fit around your waist anymore.
Yeah, that is true.
Don't talk about the belt. Whatever you
We're not allowed to talk about
top
that.
secret.
Okay.
So, okay.
I went out pike fishing. I want to know what. Let's start. I went out pike fishing. I knocked it out of the park. I had a great day on the water. Walleye fishing on Rice Lake has been incredibly tough this year. Last year on opening morning between 7 and 9 a.m., Sean and I caught more walleye than I've caught this season.
It happens.
Now, bass opens in less than 14 days. I feel like bass fishing, this is the first time in my life I felt that bass season got here really quick. Possibly with the proposal put through by Bruce Tuff and Queen's University, this is the last time we may ever have to wait this long because of the catch and release season.
Where's that at? Do you know?
I don't know where it's at, but pardon, Sean?
That was just for zone 20.
Yes, but next year we'll be able to catch and release zone 20. So we would have been bass fishing for months by now.
What about you guys ever going up like north, like Sudbury and stuff there? I think they open like May 20th. I think Joey Ford and Linda were actually up there this week. They hammered them.
It's open all year round.
That would be fun. Yeah, there's different zones. Most of them are open year round. You go south, and it does go to like a May, I believe, and so forth. But
I've never gone up there.
Why don't we plan a weekend up there next year?
We should do that.
Bunch of guys and hammer. Like, how much fun would that be?
Well, we may have to do that.
FearFishing event up there.
Well, so here's where I'm at. I thought we had so much stuff planned, Aishan, like Woody. There were so many things for 2020 planned for FearFishing, and COVID happened and put the brakes on hard.
Yeah.
Like, we had big plans, and this was going to be the year. Like, do you know what I mean? And the on mid-March, when we got home from that classic, the brakes got on everything.
Yeah, 100%. Like,
2021 is going to be the year that we get to do the full potential of what FearFishing can do because of COVID. Like, I maybe people don't understand out there is that, like, there was some really cool stuff planned that isn't going to happen now. So I felt like this year was the year that we were going to get to share so much more than we normally do. Now I'm thinking 2021. I'm not going to have this giant break because in March, if the Zone 20 opens, as soon as that ice comes out, I'm going to find bass. Now, this year, here's my thoughts on the bass fishing. Low water, there wasn't a crazy 100-year flood. The bass spawn, I'm going to say, is over. Those fish are up and gone. That next 2 weeks from now, or a week Saturday, bass fishing is going to be phenomenal in 2020. The rest of it has been weird. We didn't get to fish, but bass season is going to be on fire this year.
I think so too. You know, it's I haven't been on the water lately. I went actually I did some carping with the bow on Saturday. But I think it's setting up to be pretty good. Like, I haven't been on many. Too. I was only on the Autonomy River and stuff, so obviously a little bit different scenario than most places. But I'm so excited for bass opener, like to a level that I haven't been before. I'm almost excited for this as I am turkey opener, duck opener, and that's not normal for me. Like, I'm stoked to get to this. So even though like June till July is a freaking crazy busy month for me, we got booking seasons for all brands and stuff like that. Like, I'm going fishing though. I cannot wait for the 20th.
I'm pumped. Sean's so excited he fixed his boat.
I know. I'm pumped for Sean. I can't wait to see it.
And you want to know something else about my boat? So after we fixed it there Saturday, Sunday morning, Mercer and I took it out for a test run on Sunday morning because we had to water test it. And I launched the boat at Harris Boat Works. I put the power pole down and I snapped the power pole line.
Look how
that's awesome.
Can
that's
you see that? Look
that's
how pumped he is. Look how pumped he is when he sent that. He's back. He's back. He's back.
But,
I feel so bad for everybody that has to fish against him. It's over.
I snapped that power pole line. So today I took the lines off and I went to try to have some made, right? And the power pole lines are a thicker walled line. Like, they're a special line by them because they're under such high pressure. And we couldn't find them anywhere or get anybody to make them that would say, okay, these are going to do the job. The guy that said, okay, I'll make you some, but they might not be the ones. And Danny McGarry just looked at me and says, call PowerPole, man. They have the best warranty in the business. So I called PowerPole. I talked to the guy down there. He's like, what model is it? So it's got the VIN number on the bottom of the PowerPole. I read him the PowerPole. He's like, okay, what happened? I said, my lines are all brittle. I'm going to change them all out. Like, the one broke and another one broke and we're pulling it out. He says, okay, what's your address? I gave my address. He's like, okay, I got 4 15-foot lines, 8 connections, and all your new fluid being sent to you. You should have it later this week.
Isn't that amazing? And you know what?
I'm like,
that's phenomenal.
All right. What's the bill? He's like, no bill. Have a good day.
Wow.
And people ask, like, why are certain products so expensive? You know what? That's part of it, but it's a one-time purchase. Like
That's
that
right.
service, like those poles aren't new. How old are those poles, Sean?
They're 12 years old.
Okay, exactly. 12 years old. Definitely wasn't manufacturer defect at that point. They're 12 years old. And for a company to stand behind themselves like that, hats off Power Pole, man. That would make me a customer for life right there.
Oh, absolutely. Done deal. Sold. I'll never have
So-
anything else on my boat.
No, I would never own a boat without Power Poles again.
Well, Cooper had a problem last year when he was down in the States fishing a tournament. He had 2 days. He blew one of the pumps. He had 2 days until the tournament. They Power Pole overnight shipped him the pump.
Wow.
And the pump cost him nothing. Neither did the shipping.
Yeah, and those pumps aren't cheap. Like they're expensive setup for any hydraulic stuff like that, right? So it's that's awesome, man. Like hats off. And none of us are affiliated with Power Pole at
No.
all. Like, just
Kurt
phenomenal.
McConkie just actually asked Ian, why don't you use Power Poles? Because I keep meaning to get them on my next boat, and then I keep keeping this one. And Andrew Mercer won't make me any.
See, like
That's why.
there's a lot
I
of
would
guys
love
that
the
argue,
set though.
like there's a lot of guys that argue like with this new Garmin, like you call it anchor lock, right? And it's phenomenal because it's not just like the spot lock, it gets kind of jagged and stuff like that. The Garmin actually lowers the power automatically to keep you like in the exact spot. So I can see where like I wouldn't need it as bad as I would before, but they're so handy just for like pulling up to a dock, like fishing in general. But I mean, like I would have a hard time owning a boat without Power Poles. I use those things all the time. My boat came with them. Dave, who owned my boat before me, he put them on, I believe. And man, like they're freaking wicked. Like I could play with them all day. Up, down, up, down, up, down. So
Is there a specific bass fishing item that you guys are excited to use this year?
My
yep,
new flipping reel.
yep.
That's the
That
one.
I would agree
I
with
love
that. I used
Yeah.
it at the end of last year when we first came out with it. That's the best thing ever made. That made me way better at that. There's stuff I'm really excited to use that I can't talk about, which we're going to be using. But I think
Are you allowed to show everybody what you were playing with in your hands before we started?
this thing right here, actually, that is what I'm excited. That's a Zillion 10. Zillion 10. So 10-to-1 gear ratio, 11 bearings in that bad boy, 42 inches of line pickup per handle turn. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
That's
Then
nuts.
You have 4 on the way for me, right?
No, I have one on the
No.
way for Sean, one on the way for Mark, one
Yeah,
on the
no
way for
doubt.
one on the way for
No
all the other
doubt.
guys. I got some on the way for Matt and Denny and Dave and Matt Hubble and everybody else. And
Everybody
Sean
but
and
me.
Pete, and everybody else I missed. Morrison's getting one. Chonger's getting one. Who am I
Everybody.
missing? Lots of everybody but you. You work at a retailer now. You get a deal. You don't need this stuff.
There you go.
Whoa.
So no, you know what?
Kevin's
Oh,
gonna be
there's
upset
like
tomorrow when I put my list in.
yeah. This is like this is like where we have this is like such a conversation starter because guys are like, what application are you going to use this with? And when you guys did the dial
Flipping a
digital
jig.
night, right? People asked it, but you know how many people like obviously flipping because of the retrieve speed. You know how many people said they're going to burn frogs with it? Blow your mind. Like seems fast, but there's guys that swear like you burn that frog and they work.
I
right?
burn
So-
frogs.
and it's got the SV spool in it, so you can cast light baits with it.
I burn frogs, and
It's a
I
great
like to
light bait.
burn them across lily pads, and then
Yep.
all of a sudden stop it dead, and you won't believe how many times it just goes whoosh,
I think
because
I'm gonna-
they're following it. Like, you know what I mean? And this is what I'm most excited for. I can't wait to see the first fish bite. Sean can contest with me. You know when you get a frog going and you start seeing the pads move behind it, and you're like,
Oh,
yep,
yeah.
yep, 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 yep. Or when you flip under the dock and the jig comes out and all you see behind it is, that's what I'm most excited for in bass season. Like dirty bucket fishing is
Yeah.
my favorite thing in the whole world. I cannot wait to be in my flip flops on the front of my boat and drill hook.
if
Stop.
I could, I would frog or top water the rest of my life. If that's all I was allowed to do. I'm totally
Now,
open to
I've been spending a lot of time at East Hill in the fishing department, and I've been using a Daiwa Rebellion 7.3 flipping stick, which would make the perfect jig rod as a laser pointer as I walk around the store.
The perfect jig.
I'm really excited about Rebellion fishing rods this year.
Yeah, those things are amazing. How many people, we were a little late getting them up here with everything going on, obviously, but the amount of phone calls, where can I get one? Where
They're
can I get
selling
one?
like crazy.
Man, they're showing up.
As soon as like you look at them, and I'm going to be totally honest here. You look at them and you're like, that's going to be a heavy rod because they're thick, right? In the ass end. As soon as you pick it up, the first thing that comes to my brain is, I can't believe there's a rod here. Like they're so light.
Well, it's that rail seat too, right? That air sensor seat. We're getting some feedback from somebody here.
Sorry.
It's me.
So, but that air sensor reel seat, Ian, it's lightens up that handle like insanely much, and that's that high HVF like carbon graphite that Daiwa uses when they design that. I am gonna say like we kind of seen some weird things happen in that lineup. So like we always had like zillions in that price point, sold like crazy. Kage, still one of the best rods ever made. It's a Kage. But the two of the elites have kind of cannibalized everything because of the quality for the price point, right?
Yep.
But I think that we've sold so many Tatula elites. They're still selling like crazy. Guys are going to kind of branch out. And I encourage you guys to branch out. Try a Kage. Try a Rebellion if you're in that price range, because you're only about $30 more than a Tatula elite. Less if it's not AGS. You're actually $50 cheaper. Yep. Or try an Evergreen combat stick. And there's dealers stocked up everywhere of those things right now. Try them. Like we have those actions that you guys are looking for in elites, and those, try them out. I think you will be amazed. And it's like we had a great series of rods, the Chronos.
Yep, I have a couple of those.
One of the best rods ever made. It just got cannibalized by Tatula elites because they were, even our normal Tatulas for $169, they were so good for the month, like for 5-year warranty and stuff. So try new things. Stuff's going to be harder to get. Don't be scared to branch out in any brand, not just Daiwa, as much as we want to. Just try new things. Check it out. Try new things. Change up your style.
Change up your rod length too. Like don't be, and I've been talking to a lot of people at the store about this. Just because it says a frog rod doesn't mean it has to be a frog rod. It can be anything.
Exactly. And we put application on there for like ease of sale. But you can 7.4 heavy fast for, big swim bait or whatever, right? But I think too, like the challenge guys is if you guys have a good buddy you fish with, whether it's a tournament partner, and he's got a different length, or something different than what you used to, trade rods up for a bit. Go and try it. Say, hey, can I borrow that? I'm going fishing with my other buddy or my wife this weekend. Can I try that flip and like try stuff?
Yeah.
And and demo it and, talk, see what you like different. Because, like I always had like, I kind of got in the whole tube game, like last year, for example, Dave Bairstow. Like Dave Bairstow is the king of that, right? Him and Matt.
He is very convincing.
Like, I learned so much from him, man. Like it was crazy. And it's like everything you think that you should be doing, he is like, no, I do it this way. But when you do it his way, you're like, that actually
works.
That makes a lot of sense. And it's like against everything you would read, but it's because he figured out what worked in his environment for how the fish are biting or whatever. But I mean, my whole rod setup changed. I went back that next day and I'm like to Greg, I got to order these rods. Like I need this length. I need this action. I use Dave's. This is what works for me.
Let's talk about Dave's tube. So if you want to be like Bairstow and catch fish on tubes, you need to first go get a tube about this big.
67-pound braid, not 65. 67.
Yeah, instead of using fluorocarbon, you want to go take all the line out of your weed whacker and tie that straight to your braid. You're going to cast that out there. You're going to let it hit bottom. You're going to let it hit bottom. And then basically you're going to fish it as fast as you possibly can back to the boat until, and if Ian looks at you and I don't give you a dirty look, you're fishing way too slow. I like to fish fast.
Man.
Bairstow's a beast when it comes to tubing.
Yeah, for sure.
Beast.
For sure.
And then that's not even like, I'm not even that far off there from my description of how he fishes a tube.
Man, I love
two-hand.
I love fishing a tube now. Like I was using it in places like last year where I shouldn't even have used it. I caught fish and I caught a muskie on a tube, dragging on the bottom, and it was a heck of a fight. Like it was wicked. And we make a Kage. there is times where I like a little bit shorter rod too. So we make a Kage 610 medium fast spinning rod, but it's branded tube and jerk bait rod.
Yep.
I like that rod too, especially depending on where I'm fishing. But I think I'll use that one a fair bit this year in the kayak. Now, there's always that argument in the kayak you want a little bit longer rod because you want to be able to get a little bit more leverage on the fish because you're not really at the same angle. But that rod's just so easy to fling around, throw a tube on. I think I'll be sticking with it. But there's a lot of unique actions out there that we're making and other brands too, like 7.2 medium heavies and stuff like that make good tube rods. So check it.
I really like that 7.2 Tatua shaky head rod.
Yes, that thing was a huge seller. We couldn't keep that in stock last year. That thing actually works really good for ripping hair for walleye too.
It's got a lot of backbone to it.
It does.
Soft,
it has a great backbone.
but it's got some it's got some meat to it.
Yeah, my Cody Meyer drop shot rod I use for my walleye rod now this year. I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. I love it. I used it the day before yesterday out on the water. And
if I had one spinning rod to use all the time, and it's my Cody Meyer Versatile 7.4.
That thing's
awesome
amazing.
rod. I use it for ripping hair. I love that rod.
Yeah. Or Tackle Hero has the universal one, and it's phenomenal too. But there's so many good things out there right now. Like it's like our spinning reels and our bait casters. We have so many, and it's almost like too many. But try some different stuff out. And that's the other argument too, is spool sizes, right? Like that's
3,000.
Like 3,000. There's, we were always 2,500s, but our new spool sizes, we're kind of on industry standard now. I know like us and a lot of the competitors are running the same spool sizing now. There's a lot of advantages to a 3,000. It's the same size frame, bigger spool, bigger arbor, a little bit better line management, cast a little bit.
Cast farther.
But jigging rods, 2,500. Way to go. Like different things, right? So try different things and pay attention to spool sizes. There's deep spools and shallow spools. And that's
the other thing from Digital Daiwa Night Fighter said he's using all 4,000s.
And Brett Ayler is the same way, I believe. He dropped shots for 4,000. So they're light. But remember why he said it? Do you remember what he said?
No, Corey was talking in my ear.
The balance, because the
balance.
The reels are so light now. Those new LT series reels, it balances better in his hand what time he puts it on and lines it.
And now let's talk about that too. Sometimes, as you get more expensive, the reels get lighter. There's some setups where a heavier reel will actually make the rod back heavy instead of tip heavy, and it's a little easier to feel a bite.
Help you for your application, yeah. Like there's a lot of 4,000s that sell. Like my dealers, like down southwestern Ontario, like Angling Sports in London, like Cole Bailey there and John, and those guys, they do like a lot of like Lake St. Clair stuff and Erie and all that stuff. They sell a lot of 4,000 spinning reels there for like this guy's doing a little bit different things like that, right? So it's I think that's what gets us all. We're all gear gadget guys. We all have way too many rods, way too many reels, but
you watch your mouth.
It's the fun of it. Hey, you don't have enough. You don't have enough.
I don't have enough.
No,
I don't have enough.
Point, right? Like that's what's fun about fishing. It's almost like I'm sitting at my desk right now. I got 7 samples on my desk because I go like this all day, and I just driving myself nuts. Right? Like, here's another one. There's another one. They just sit here. I got look at my desk. I got batteries for the boat. Like I'm getting ready to rig up. Like I'm so pumped right now. It's just I'm just losing my mind over here.
So what did you buy this week?
I'm hoarding these. This is Sean Palmer's hat. I've been hoarding it from him.
I need a new hat. I want a blue one. Hey, so what did you buy this week, Kyle?
I bought a Hobie Pro Angler 14. I'm going kayak fishing. So
what's explain to us what exactly that is.
So that is like, I'm going to probably tick some people off when I say this, but it's like Cadillac, in my opinion, of kayak. So it's a pedal driven one, and there's so many cool ones out there. And I don't know why. I started kayak fishing like that before I had my bass boat. Tonby River was how I got into the sport. When I started working for Greywood, it was affordable. I had a little tin boat. You got on back bays. I did a lot of frogging. Had a lot of fun on it. And then the last couple of years, it's actually like exploded in Ontario. right? It's huge in the
Huge.
States, huge. Like it is a different level down there, but there's a lot of really cool kayak bass series. And one of the ones around here is the Ontario Kayak Bass Trail. And it's actually ran by a couple good fellows named John Dean and Paul Winkle. And we've actually sponsored that with Daiwa in the past. So I've been, getting to know those guys pretty well. And they've always been kind of on me, come out and do one. So I did one last year in my Pelican, like no sonar, no nothing, paddles. And I was blown away by the gear the guys had around me, like full 12-inch sonars, Panoptics, 360s, like the rods, the reels, like the pedal drives, like, and those guys schooled me. And it was like such a different kind of fishing in that environment. Like you're trying to like skip docks, but like your kayak's moving, so your line's not working. You know what I mean? Like everything is so different. And like, I don't know why, but like all winter, I was like, I kind of want to get one of those drives. And I kept getting drawn to it. And I was at Andy's show, Spring Fishing and Boat Show. And I kept going to the Hobie booth, Fog Marine, and John and
That's
Paul
where you were.
Me. Yeah, I know. I was in the Daiwa booth enough. And then I just decided, you know what? I was gonna get into that a little bit more because I got some cool plans this summer. I haven't told everybody this yet, but I'm probably gonna like sell my bass boat. Hopefully Sean Palmer will still let me fish Rice Lake with him because it won't be much useful on the pre-fish now. But sorry, Sean.
You can borrow my boat if you want to go pre-fishing.
We'll talk tomorrow, Sean. But anyways, I'm gonna rig this Hobie out and kind of do that when I got some time and do some of those events. And I'm going to fish some tournaments with Bearstow. I was co-angler of his boat, and I'm going to do a lot more stuff with you guys, with Daiwa and some of our other pro staff, doing more like photos and videos and just I just kind of figure I looked at that I only put 15 hours on my boat last year. And I said, you know what? I got to do some other stuff. And I might just, I don't know if I will. I had a mental breakdown in the driveway tonight with my wife about me selling my boat because I was sad. I didn't think I could do it. And she's like, just keep it. And I'm like, no, I don't know if I should, and this and that, but I'm excited for
you
the
and that boat are torn.
I know how many times
I have this conversation every third day for months, years since he bought it.
For the year that thing is mint.
It is mint.
It is mint.
I think you're crazy to sell it.
I know everyone tells me I'm stupid. They're like, you'll never find a boat that year.
You never find that boat again.
I bought it off a buddy named Dave Benham. I didn't know him at the time, but he's a great dude.
He is a good dude.
Took really good care of it, and he brand new seats in it when I picked it up, and it's anyways. I don't know. I might list it this week. We'll see. I might not. But no, it's cool, man. I'm just excited for Bass Opener. I was actually talking to another buddy, Tyler Warner. He was
super good dude.
Club. Yeah, and he's got big into the kayak fishing the last couple of years, and
he's got a sweet boat, kayak.
He said it really makes you a better angler because you slow down and you fish different sections harder or differently because you're not covering as much water. And
well, that's the thing too. If you watch bass tournaments, everybody drives the other end of the lake.
Yeah, and it's
as fast as they can.
Exactly. So, but you know what's funny is exactly what you said. So I was at the B1 like 3 years ago, and I watched Matt Steely, who's a local guy. A lot of you guys know his name. Everyone blasted off, right? And I was there at the Garmin booth. Everyone's blasting. And Matt Steely's local guy blasts off, turns left, goes right to shore, starts flipping, starts fishing. And I was like, right there by the launch. I think it was that same tournament. Somebody came in before weigh and caught the biggest fish of the day right by the launch too. And it's funny how like people don't. It's always like, hey, I'm running half hour that way. I'm running an hour that way on the Bay Quinte doing this stuff. So, anyways, it's gonna be a new challenge for me. I wanted to hopefully get in shape because I got to lose some weight here. This whole desk job's killing me, so I'll pack help with that. And then, man, I'm still gonna be on the boats. We got a good pro team, and Greg, my boss there at Greywood, he's got an awesome Garmin boat that we go out and all the time and fish. So we're gonna lots of time in the big boats and some time with. But also the other main reason I bought it for hunting. So me, and
you and the Hank.
Yeah, we're gonna go into the duck blinds in it and do some touring around with that. So I'm pretty pumped.
I'm gonna come with you. I'm gonna borrow your other kayak, and Casey and I are gonna go out and drown in the river.
Yeah, I feel bad for you in that other kayak, man, because it's like if you had a 9.9 and this Hobie had like a 250 mark on it, the speed difference.
Don't worry, I have a pointer. I'll just drop the pointer over and she'll kick.
Yeah. Okay. No, but I can't believe And I know some guys are probably like chirping, like whatever, like bass boats. Man, I love my bass boat. Like the problem is, I love driving the thing, right? Like it's just so much fun.
Well, yeah. Well, here's the thing: you got to try new things. This is
like,
why I'm not fishing tournaments.
Like these things got rod holders, and like it's.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna put a live scope on it. I'm gonna put a 10-inch graph on it. I'm gonna put like it's. I'm stoked. Like it came on so last minute too. It was like, you know what? We could use some money for some other projects that me and my wife are working on, and some other stuff. And the Peterborough Fishing Show, we want to put, you know, some good effort into that. And next thing you know, I called John Dean. I'm like, John, we've been talking about it for a long time. I really got to try one. Well, John came prepared. So he brought me the kayak. He drove all the way up here for me to try it. I tried it for maybe 15 minutes, was hooked. He pulls out the price list. He was ready for me. Had the deal lined up with one of the good local dealers that supports their series, Mercer Marine, I believe it's called, and talked to Morton down there, and before you know it, man, I had to deposit down on one. So it's all his fault. It's his and Paul's, John and Paul's fault for sure. I blame them.
But this is not. This is just trying new things. Life is very short, and it's you know. This is a part of the reason why I'm not doing a tournament series this year, because I want to try new things. Right? Kayak fishing is just something new, right?
Yeah.
Hunting's was a new thing to me a few years ago, and now I'm desperately in love with it, and I spend all my money doing that. I spend more money hunting than I do fishing. I never shoot anything.
And that's just it. Like once September 1st hits, I'm so busy at work, I might fish once. And then it's hunting mode, man. Like when duck opener hits, and then whitetail season and bear season. And then I love muzzleloader. I love late season deer hunting, like December when it's snowing. I love upland hunting, pheasant hunting. I love going to like the pheasant farms, or we buy them and do our own farm thing, this and that. I love fishing, but I'm a huge believer. I like being good at a lot of things and great at nothing.
I feel the same way.
You know what I mean? Like I feel like I'm not great at anything, but I'm pretty decent at a lot of things in the outdoor world. And yeah, I could put all my time in the fishing, or I could put all my time in the getting that giant whitetail, but I don't have the time. And I want to, even though I should be sitting in a whitetail stand for 10 days straight, it's like, oh man, the ducks are hitting the pond. Like I gotta go. Right. So it just, I'm okay with that, man. I'm okay if this camaraderie, hanging out with the buddies. Hunt camp is, for me, is just as much fun as tournaments. Like it's all about
well,
it.
I feel the same way. Like I don't want I'm changing by year. I want to do everything. I want to try everything, because there's only so much time in this world to try it, right? And the time's now, right?
For sure.
Instead of saying next year I'm going to try this, it should be more like next weekend I'm going to try this, or next month. I'm so excited to do new things, always.
Yeah.
And I used to be totally against doing anything new, and I'm really excited about trying new things now.
For sure.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that's
me
how
too.
it should be.
I'm really looking forward to fishing all these different lakes this year.
I am
these
too.
Unpressured lakes. There's not a million tournaments on them. There's not 100 other boats on the water when you're there. I'm stoked for it.
That was another big thing, Sean, like you said about the kayak. Like I might have to drive a little bit further to get into some of those back lakes, but man, like I always fish the same lakes. I drop in at the Autonomy because it's 5 minutes from my house. I rip down, I fish rice, I go try lakes or catch or something like that. But like I'm a Kawarthas guy. Like I haven't been fishing my whole life, like not seriously anyway. So I've said like I want to try new bodies of water. And I love salmon fishing. I love going with my buddy Kyle Vanderland. I'm gonna do some stuff of hopefully this year, chasing kings and all that stuff all summer. I've never fished Simcoe, believe it or not. Other than like I got guys I want to go on Simcoe. Like I have so much stuff I want to do, and I want to bring a camera when we do it. And that's the kind of stuff that I want to do for the brands I represent. And it's just been a change of pace. So
well, I feel the same way. I feel like we filmed enough of the same lakes tournament fishing, and now it's time to film everything but that.
Yeah. And I think that's a good move for you guys, with what you guys do. I think your numbers will prove it. I don't know, and this is me guessing, if you went and looked at your tournament vlogs, they're probably some of your lower views. Maybe not, because people probably Google the lake names because they're so popular lakes and look for spots and stuff. I did that the other night, by the way, too, guys. I know sturgeon like the back of my hand now. Thanks, buddy. So, anyways, but
Too bad everybody else knows those spots too.
I know. I actually watched the whole vlog. I got all excited. I looked up your guys' results. It was like 47th. I'm like, oh yeah. So,
isn't that the truth?
But
yeah,
it's no. I think you guys will have some cool stuff going this year. Like it's a change of pace for you guys. Now Sean's got a boat. Sean's got a boat, so
we got something big planned. We can't talk about it, or Woody will come right through that phone. But it's going to be big.
Really? Did I already break that rule? Because you,
yeah, you're in big
trouble.
trouble.
One rule of Fight Club is never talk about it.
Talk about Fight
that's
Club.
right.
So
that's right. That's exactly what it is.
Well, boys, Woody. So you think we should do the next one live in studio?
I think we should try.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. This is the best news I've heard in a long time.
You think
Because I really don't like doing it on Zoom.
So that'll be the Monday after the bass opener.
Yes.
Oh, you have to.
And we have so much to talk about.
There you go. There you go.
Hey, before we get into final thoughts, where's Kevin sitting on the whole fishing in 2020 thing? Is he ready?
Yeah. We were talking about that today when we can get back out there. So he's stoked. He's ready to go. He's got a bunch of new baits that he collected over the wintertime, and he's ready to try them out.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, I know a guy with a boat, Woody.
Yeah, I need to get out with you guys for sure.
Anytime you want, let me know.
Let's start off the final thoughts with Kyle. You got a final thought, buddy?
You're never too old to set a new goal or dream a new dream. Giver.
What would he send that to you?
Yeah.
No, I just thought about it because kind of what you guys brought up. I never got a job. I never got into hunting or fishing until I was like 23. Right? So what I'm saying is I never thought I would work in this industry. You know, it's just life works weird. You're working at a retailer now. Do you ever think that was going to happen 3 years ago?
Never.
Sean pulls his boat out of storage. No one thought that was going to happen last year. Like, stuff happens, right? Like so yeah. I'm just saying, man, like if you want to do something like that new challenge, like I got my challenge for the summer. You know what I'm doing. I'm going to go out there and get my ass kicked. But I haven't even fished any of these bodies of water that club wants to do, but who cares? Excuse to go fish water. I don't care if I lose. I'm gonna. It's fine. My whole goal this year is personal best. Bigger fish. That's it.
Well, that should be easy for you to break.
It won't be hard.
Sean, give her a go.
Well, it's no secret that the last week for me has been pretty tough. We lost our dog there on Wednesday. It was hands down the worst day of my entire life so far. I just want to say thank you to everybody that reached out. I couldn't believe the amount of people that reached out to just say, hey man, we're feeling your pain, and you know, it'll be all right. It's been, you know, it's been a few days now, and like I haven't shed a tear since I was 18 years old and my grandfather passed away. You know what I mean? I cried like a baby for 3 days straight. Like that was my little girl, right? And it does get a little easier. The pain's still away, but it gets bearable. You got to keep moving forward, right? And just appreciate the amount of joy that something brings you before it goes away. And it's after it goes, remember that joy that it brought you, and don't dwell that it's gone. Just remember all the good, because that's really helping me.
It is hands down the hardest thing in the whole world. When I put my antenna down, you go through so many different emotions. I spent 15 and a half years making sure that dog was safe and she ate every day. And then you have to go and do this. And I can remember coming home and I just couldn't believe I did this. And I had the sign of a good pet owner is not to be selfish for our feelings, but to do what's best for the dog. And,
exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Like I put it off forever until I had to do this. And then, I realized in that moment that the ultimate sign of love is that I'm going to deal with this so that you don't have to.
Yeah, exactly. And we didn't have any options of medically treating her or a miracle surgery that would save her. They gave her 1 month, 2 months tops, and through that, her lungs would have to be drained almost every day, every other day. And to do that, they sedate her like she would have been in pain constantly. And that's really not how I wanted her to, or my girlfriend and I, that's not how we wanted our girl to live her last little bit, right? So she spent a few days in the hospital, to a point where they got her stable enough that we could bring her home for one night, right? And we spent that night together, and the next morning
It's tough, eh?
yeah,
It is really
right?
tough. Yeah, no, for sure.
We spent some time in the backyard there, and she chased her last squirrel, and we just got her back today, actually. So we're glad to have her back now, and it comes and goes in waves, right? But it gets easier.
Sure.
It gets easier.
For sure. And before we started, I told you there's Montana right there above me I plan when someday that Amber and I get like the dream home that we want and the farm and everything, that I'll bury Montana there so that she's always with us.
Yeah.
But it's not easy. So, and the only thing that made me feel better is when we found Casey, and she was actually born on the same day that we had to put Montana down, November 1st. And I in weird ways, as soon as we found that out and I got her home, it was kind of like Montana did one last thing for me, because now I got another dog to spend all my memories with. It's not easy. It's like, even as hunters, it doesn't mean we're heartless.
No, exactly.
Dogs are hunters' best friends, man. Like man's best friend, but there is nothing like a dog. Always happy to see it. Like my dog Hank, he will not leave my side. He will, like, literally. I mean, like if I walk 3 steps left, he walks 3 steps left. Like he won't leave my side. Like he's down here right now. Like you know what I mean? But like to me, I've had other dogs and I love my other dogs and childhood dogs. And we have another husky right now. There's something about like my first bird dog, like the memories I have with Hank, and what it's the memories you had with your dog Sean. Like some of my best memories in life, like not just because my dog was there, but like in life, like hunting, like and stuff, like are with that dog. And he's only 4, and but it can end, right? So it's
my girl was only 3.
Exactly. So like like my brother's dog he had a dog kidnapped. Like it's crazy stuff happens, right? Like there's just all sorts of stuff. Like
I don't know how I would deal with that. That'd be a whole different.
Yeah,
that'd be a whole different kind of pain, I think.
Yeah,
if somebody took my dog.
Yeah, that'd be different.
Yeah, I don't know if I could handle that without killing somebody.
Hank's a beauty
for you, buddy.
Hank's a beauty. The worst guard dog ever, but he's a good dog.
The talking lap. He talks like
it took no convincing to get Hank to get in my truck the last time I was at Kyle's house.
Yeah. No. All 4 of us here, we're all dog guys, right?
We are. Woody's a dog guy.
Yeah.
You've had a lot of dogs over the years, buddy.
We've had different bulldogs, but this time we haven't had a dog in about a year. Our last little bulldog passed away, but they've all lived to 14 years old, which is unheard of for the bulldog breed. But
that's crazy for bulldogs.
We feed.
When you were a kid, you had that big black dog, like the Newfoundlander.
Yeah, Brandon. Yeah.
Yeah. Remember that?
Yeah, he used to eat cheeseburgers.
Your dog's name was Brandon.
Yeah.
And he was a Newfoundlander dog. That's awesome.
Yeah. I'll tell you the story about his name offline sometime.
All right.
Wicked.
Woody, final thought?
Oh, well, this one's for Sean. Because what you had to go through takes a lot of courage, but courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes it's a quiet voice at the end of the day saying, I'll try again tomorrow.
That's a good one. Here's my final thought. It's never too old to make changes in your life that make you happier. I'm 37 years old. The first time in my life I was ever excited to get up in the morning and go to any job. Pumped. It isn't it is a scary thing to start over, but sometimes you need to start over and deal with that scary stuff to make life better. I can tell you, I feel like as of Thursday, I hit a new milestone in my life where I have great family. I have great friends. I have a great fear fishing. And my whole life's hunting and fishing. It's never too old to make changes to get to where you want to be. And sometimes you just got to, you know, suck it up, make those changes, and things will turn around. If I like in a little deeper thought, that 3 years ago when I got really, really sick, and Sean, you know how sick I was at some points during this. If I would have looked 3 years in the future, it was all worth dealing with all that shit to get here. So think about that. If anybody's going through the same stuff at home, there's a light at the end of the tunnel as long as you stay in there. Never give up.
That's it.
Well, to be honest with you, my second final thought is I really hope Mark Hunter's back for that show after Bass Opener, because I'm going to be pretty tired. My arm's going to be pretty sore.
Oh, shit.
See you, boys.
Have a great night, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. And yes, in the questions, East Hill Outdoors is open.
Good night.
In 2 weeks. In studio. Woohoo!
My sight, my soul, my heart, you stole with the lies that you told. Hoping I would never know you like your plan. Want me to be another man you control. But lo and behold, 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 behold. See that you might be confused, but I am not a fan of being used. For your greedy ways, your ways will come to see its days. Believe me when I say that the people will unite as one. The fight is never done until the right has overcome and the wrong is washed away. See that you might be confused, but I am not a fan of being used. For your greedy ways.
A few hundred years, my soul was there, and now I'm here. Don't mean that I don't care. Some ain't sincere, some are fair, but when the power's clear, integrity is rare. But I ain't gonna sit cope with the facts and lay down with no hope. Relax and enjoy to the max what you got, where you at, while they climb on a thin rope. Well, what they try to do is sedate us, teach us how to hate and separate us. Never really wanna tell it straight, just pretending what is great while they try to recreate us.
My sight, my soul, my heart, you stole with the lies that you told.